Okay guys, so we are here now with Q&A number 4, which these have become my most popular videos, so that's awesome. You guys love the Q&As, and that's why I'm keeping them going every single week up until the meet, which we are 9 weeks out from now. And today, by the way, I hit 5x5 with 562 pounds, 255 kilos high bar on squats. That's a huge volume PR. So things are going well, and I weigh 239. Number 1, let's get this going. This was the most popular question, by the way, most requested question. Did you and Eric Bugenhagen train together much? And if so, is there any footage that is from Moth Dog 4? So I have one experience meeting Eric Bugenhagen, and he was at Madtown Fitness because he's from right around Madison, Wisconsin, and that's where I'm from. So we're actually from like the same area. But the owner of Madtown Fitness, Dan Paschalk, had him there one time because he's friends with him, obviously. This was before he had any sort of YouTube following. Like, he might have had like 1,000 subscribers, but that was it. And he's actually very chill in real life. Like, all the YouTube shenanigans, it's just an act, you know. It's like Juji Mufu. Juji Mufu just does all that stuff to get a lot of subscribers, and it's fun and it's crazy, so that's why they act like that. But he's probably not that way in real life. All the time, at least. And Eric Bugenhagen wasn't like that at all. It's just that's his whole persona for his YouTube channel. So he's like this calm dude, and like he was like, you know, he looked like he lifted, but he wasn't huge. He's probably about my size, 235 or so. I really don't know, but we're probably about the same size. He's about an inch taller. So I'm like, all right, you know, whatever. This guy looks like he's pretty strong. He proceeds to go over to the deadlift platform, and he starts doing these barbell hack squats behind his back. So he's doing deadlifts behind his back, you know, the hack squat thing with the barbell. And he keeps going up and up, and I'm like, pretty soon, you know, we get to a point, I'm like, what the flying is this guy doing? Because he was up to like 675 and it was really easy. I'm like, who the heck is this mother? You know, because I'm just like, this random dude comes in and starts doing behind the back deadlifts and blows up 675, and you're just like, what? And then he went to like 725 and did a triple, all dead stops, behind his back, and I'm just like, I don't understand this at all. And then I'm like talking to him, I'm like, dude, like, what do you deadlift? And he's like, well, actually, I don't deadlift anywhere near as much as this. I'm just way stronger at this, and my leverages are better. And I'm just like, I don't even know how this is possible. How anyone could do that. I've never really tried that, but I'm like, I don't want to try that. But I was just blown away. I was like, I've never seen anyone do this. And he's doing 700 pounds, 700 plus pounds for reps with ease. So that was our one experience. There's no training footage or anything, but that's the one time I met him, and it was probably like 5 years ago. Nice guy. Real down to earth, actually, just a normal guy in person, but he can do these freakish, weird lifts, and I'd never seen anybody who could do that. That was bizarre. Number 2, this may have been answered before, but what happened with you and Team Juggernaut? That's from CoolGuy with a CoolCar. Nothing really happened with me and Team Juggernaut. So I was one of the original like 8 athletes for Chad Wesley Smith when he launched Juggernaut training systems. Like, we were one of the first. I was one of the OG people to be a member of that when he first started the company. But it wasn't like a sponsorship like I have with Animal. There was no contract or anything. Basically, we just advertised the clothes, you know, the Juggernaut clothes, and like wrote an article once a month, and we got like a really small stipend. So it wasn't like a real sponsorship. Like, that's what I'm saying, guys. A lot of these sponsorships are, you guys glorify them, and they're not like a huge deal. So nothing really happened. Gosh dang it, Lucy. She is going crazy over here to get this ball. So nothing really happened, but it was just, we went our separate ways because it wasn't like an official sponsorship. I've had tons of mini sponsorships over the years. I had USP Labs when the original Jacked was out. They used to send me stuff all the time, and that wasn't a contract either. So I've had tons of sponsorship like that where I just wore clothes, got supplements, and that's how most sponsorships are. But no bad blood between us. It wasn't anything like that. I can't even remember when or what happened. Number 3, hey Pete, could you upload a playlist or put a link to your Spotify? I've gotten a lot of good tunes from your channel over the years. That's from Janoy Cresva KD. I do not have a Spotify, but that's something I could look into doing. I actually want to go through my playlist now and refine it. So I can do that. I just need to find some time here. I'm super busy every day doing stuff, so I'll try to get around to that one of these days for you guys, but I don't have one now. There might be one under my gym's name that is my playlist. So Maxed Out Gym, there might be one, because I know they use a lot of my songs at Maxed Out Gym for the general gym members. Like, a lot of that is my music, so that might work if you do Maxed Out Gym. Lucy, for pity's sake, we're trying to shoot a freaking video here, dude. Nobody needs to hear you whining away down here. Alright, we're back. Number 4, a few years back you cut your training down to only 2 or 3 days per week to be as recovered as possible for each session. However, it seems you have gone back to 2 to 3 times a week of squats, bench, and deadlifting. What changed and what has training each way taught you? That's from Mikkel Jorgenson. Hope you're doing well, buddy. I worked with him at one point in time, very strong deadlifter. So this is a lot to read here. I'm trying to assess how to answer this. So right now my training honestly is 2 days a week of bench, and then I squat every 4 days, and I squat, how do I put this? I do lower body every 4 days. So it alternates deadlift and squat. So it basically comes out to I'm squatting once every 8 days, I'm deadlifting once every 8 days, and I'm benching twice a week. So really like almost 4 days a week I'm training right now, or 4 days over the course of 8 days. So I'm still not doing a ton of volume, because if I tried to squat heavy, I should say, more than once a week and deadlift heavy, it just wouldn't happen. Low battery, thank you iPhone. So what I have to do, if I want to deadlift heavy and squat heavy in the same week, I have to limit them to 1 day. Going into Boss of Bosses last meet, I did 3 days a week for a while of high bar squatting, but I was barely doing any deadlifting. So I find for me to recover, I basically need to keep it to like 1 squat day, 1 deadlift day, and then bench I can do twice, and I can sometimes even get away with 3 days. But I just find I recover better doing two bench days right now, especially as things get heavier closer to the meet. So it's what works for my body, guys, and this is what I talked about in previous videos. Every individual I work with is going to be trained differently than I am. There's certain templates as far as training frequency and training volume that work best, but everybody's different. So the more elite the lifter is, the less they can get away with training that lift. We talked about that in the last video. When I was training 2 days a week or whatever, son of a gun. When I was training 2 days a week or whatever, I was really being more lazy than anything. Like, not squatting at all. I don't know how I freaking pulled that off and went in and squatted like 765 in sleeves. My back was just so strong from the deadlifting, I was able to get away with it. But it's not ideal. Like, what was beginning to happen is I would go into meets and I'd be super unstable and shaky on squats. It literally felt like I was going to die under the weight. So now obviously I'm squatting super heavy high bar in training to get rid of the problems with the instability. But it's all about finding what works for you. Number 5, opinion on a slingshot for a raw recreational lifter. That is from someone whose name I literally can't even say because it's just a bunch of numbers and words scrambled together. Slingshot, I'm not actually huge on this. I've talked already, I'm not huge on, like, son of a gun, Lucy. Holy crap. You are butchering this video, Chief. Butchering the freaking video. I've said before, I'm not big on like board pressing. I'm not big on limited range of motion movements in general. The slingshot is an overload thing. It's an overload tool to overload the lockout. I'm just not big on it. I've used it before. I didn't feel like I got a ton out of it. But then again, certain things work for certain people. I have one lifter now. We added in banded pause squats, and his freaking squat is blown through the roof. Like, ridiculous. Every once in a while with clients, you'll find something that just, some particular random weird exercise, and it just absolutely skyrockets their results. And with this guy, it was banded pause squats. Banded low bar pause squats. As soon as we had those in, he's literally doing way more than he's ever done. Like, not even close. And it's astonishing. So sometimes I hit on things with people, and that's why I'm saying Slingshot could work for some folks, but it's just never been something I'm huge on. Number 6, you guys freaking are gonna love this one. Do you have any weird stories, like something that you still can't explain from Cellar Door? Holy crap. I gotta, Lucy's freaking out here. You're driving me crazy. Alright. Weird story that I can't explain. I swear on my life, guys, this was the second to last night when I was in Madison, Wisconsin. Second to last night before I left for Lexington, Kentucky to move there. So I was moving to Lexington, Kentucky. This was my last night training at Madtown Fitness at about, I want to say 9, 10 p.m. So I'm leaving the gym, it's 10 p.m. I'm driving down, there's an interstate overpass over me. So the overpass is an interstate. I'm on the freaking highway, dude. I'm leaving. I'm about 15 minutes on my way back to my parents' house. It's kind of getting out in the country, but there's the interstate overpass. I freaking go under the overpass and look to I'm getting chills, dude. I look to my left, guys. I look to my freaking left. I'm getting chills. There is a UFO right to my left. Oh, dude, I'm tripping out right now, man. I don't even take drugs, but I'm tripping out for real. That's how freaking scary this was. You know those, Google this, guys. On Wikipedia, black triangle UFO. Black triangle UFO. I saw this mother. This thing had a freaking light in each corner. So it's a triangle shape. Light here, light here, light here. This sucker is hovering. It's just hovering there, man. It's not even moving. It's just freaking sitting in one spot stationary, maybe a couple 100 feet up. Like, it wasn't high at all. Not like a plane. It wasn't a drone. This thing was big. It was a big freaking spacecraft just hovering there. Black triangle UFO. I literally was tripping balls, man. I saw this thing, I'm like, holy flip. I've never seen a UFO. I never thought I was gonna see a UFO. Here's a freaking UFO. I freak out, man. So I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, should I get out and take a picture of it? And then I'm like, well, let's be real. If alien abductions are real, I'm gonna be the guy. So I'm like, I'm not gonna take a picture of these guys and then they're gonna freaking come over and abduct me for taking a picture of their spacecraft. So I kept driving. I didn't want to stop. I'm gonna be honest, I was too scared. I'm like, I'm not stopping to freaking photograph this thing or take a video. And this thing was gone. It was gone, just like that. Like, just boop. I mean, anybody, you guys may think this is funny, but anybody who's seen a UFO, you know what's up. That stuff is real, and it's freaky, man. You will never forget it. I've never seen a UFO since, never thought I would. It's probably legitimately the scariest experience of my life, as far as seeing something that you just couldn't make sense of. Number 7, do thin competition plates versus standard plates make a difference when squatting or deadlifting, and so on, from Ryan Wilson. Calibrated competition plates absolutely make a difference. So Kaylor Woolham actually talked about this a bit in his straight bar versus deadlift bar comparison video. If the plates are distributed further out to the ends, you're going to get more bar bend, even whether it's a stiff bar or deadlift bar. He said this. He said the plate width makes more of a difference than whether or not it's a deadlift or stiff bar. So the further the plates are out, the more the bar bends, even on a stiff bar, and it's much easier to break off the ground. You can get way more speed. So I've seen a lot of guys where they will move to calibrated plates and they can barely budge it. Like, they don't have the bar speed that they do on normal plates. This can also work to your advantage, though, as far as calibrated plates, because you won't get as much bar whip. So some guys pull so fast when the bar gets to their knees, it starts whipping and kicking back down on them, oscillating back down. This will not happen really with calibrated plates, so actually it can work to some lifters' advantage. I would say sumo lifters take a much bigger hit from calibrated plates, as opposed to conventional lifters, who it can sometimes benefit. But that's what I've found. Number 8, what is your opinion on blasting testosterone only, from Pomp ET? I think testosterone is a crappy compound in general. So if you're gonna run your first cycle, obviously I think starting with only testosterone is fine. I personally never go above 375 milligrams of testosterone a week. even on a blast right before a meet. If I'm on my cycle right before a meet, I never go above 375 milligrams a week, because I think test is generally crappy compared to what else you can do, other things you can take. Test causes too much water retention, too many sides. It's not an efficient compound. So I keep it real low to minimize sides, limit bloating, water retention, and I just go with a little of other things instead. So I think all these guys who go like a gram of test and stuff is just a huge waste. You're just jacking your estrogen up. Because there's a point of diminishing return with any compound, guys. Any steroid, there's a point of diminishing return. So you could take 350 milligrams of tren, and then you could take 700 milligrams of tren, but you might only be getting 5 to 10% more out of twice as much tren. You get what I'm saying? And you could go from 700 milligrams tren to 1,000, which is a gram, and you might not even get any more benefit out of it. So there's always a point of diminishing return. And the point of diminishing return with test really starts going way up over 500 milligrams. I think over 500 milligrams is basically not doing anything. And I don't even go that high with it. So I'm not really a big fan of test. Number 9, do you think cleaning up your diet, maybe using Stan Efferding's vertical diet, would improve your lifts and physique from Bible Book Club? I do actually use principles of Stan Efferding's vertical diet as far as high cholesterol, dietary cholesterol intake, high saturated fat intake, not having oils, instead eating butter, red meat, things like that. Orange juice for liver, boosting the liver, thyroid function. So there's certain principles of his diet that I use, whole eggs, things like that, but I don't follow it to a T. Obviously, I think it would help. I've seen it work with people, but honestly, my physique, I'm really lean, guys. You just don't see me taking all the shirtless videos and selfies that all the other lifters do, because I'm not trying to like be a thirsty dude showing my body off to the world to get, you know, attention from everyone. I'm basically not trying to flaunt my physique. Well, I very well could. I could be like, oh my God, guys, I'm so ripped all the time. I'm gonna do shirtless videos left and right. I don't do that because I'm not trying to show off like that and get that attention. And a lot of that is out of respect for my girlfriend. I just don't think it's right to do that. So that's a big reason. Number 10, thoughts on Jason Blaha from Marc Steubing. Honestly, guys, I know Jason Blaha is hated by many, but the guy likes me a lot, and so I respect him for that. He's never said anything bad about me. He's always applauded my honesty, and we kind of have similar views on certain things. Obviously, I don't follow his channel closely, but I watch the videos where he talks about anything mentioning me, and he's had nothing but good things to say about me. He respects me, so I got nothing but respect back, you know. If you respect me, I'm gonna respect you, and it's just simple as that. And I'll kind of tie in a question that was mentioned that's similar to this, which is, do you have any beef with Kevin Oak? And this is something I wanted to address because what happened was about 2.5 years ago, I just done a meet. It was like January of 2017, and I had a really good meet, and I made a YouTube video recapping the meet, and I said, I'm gonna go out and break Kevin Oak's 220 world record total. And then he got wind of this, obviously, and he was upset with me saying that. And I get it now, I really do. So at the time I thought it was a little overdone, but I get it because it's not, there's nothing more annoying than lifters who haven't done what you've done calling you out and saying they're gonna break your records and they wanna beat you and stuff. Like, nothing annoys us more, me or anyone else who's done something. Like, go out and do it, don't talk about it. So I 100% agree with him now. You know, I'm 27 and I totally get it. I'm like, we don't have any beef, I would say. I don't know if he follows me on Instagram. I know he didn't for a while because he was upset about that, but last time I saw him was at Boss of Bosses 2 years ago, and we were completely fine. So I'd like to think we're good. And I just would like to say, like, I totally agree with you now, dude. I've had guys like say to me, like, oh, I want to beat Pete Rubish, what he's done with this, or I'm gonna do that. And it's like, they're new in the game, and you're like, dude, I've earned my clout. Like, I've been doing this for so long. So I'm actually 100% in agreement. I never should have mentioned his name. I never should have said I was going to do that. I never should have called him out, and I'm not going to do that anymore. I don't do that. So it's just really annoying when people call you out. And if anybody wants to show him this, feel free, because it's sort of an apology of sorts, because I see his point now, and I never should have done that. But thanks for watching the video, guys. Subscribe, give it an upvote. I'm out.